So we're going to face this way. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to do roll call. Member Anderson?
Here.
Member Gibson?
Here.
Member Greco? Member Swallow?
Here.
Member Sweeto?
Here.
Madam Treasurer, we need to elect a new council president and a new vice president.
Okay,
We should have a motion for electing the president.
okay, would somebody like to make a motion to elect a town council president?
I would like to nominate Dave Anderson as president.
Okay, and are there any other nominations?
I nominate Judy Gibson. So I guess we should have a vote first on
Yes.
Dave Anderson.
Okay, we're going to vote on Dave
And second
Anderson.
as
Uh,
Jimmy Gibson.
Okay, so
Roll call.
we'll do a roll call. Member Anderson?
This is to clarify, this is for Mr. Anderson
Yes,
as president.
yes. Member Anderson? I have to do a roll call, so,
Yeah.
no, name. Member Gibson?
No.
Member Greco?
Nay.
Member Swallow?
Nay.
Member Sweeto? Okay, now we will do roll call for Member Gibson for president, town council president. Member Anderson? Member Gibson?
Yes.
Member Greco?
Yes.
Member Swallow?
Yes.
Member Sweeto?
No.
Okay. Okay, so the yeas have it for Member Gibson to be town council president.
Now we need a vote.
And that vote is 5-1, or I'm sorry, 4-1. The vote for Member Anderson to be president was 4-1, nays 4-1.
We need a motion to nominate a vice president.
They're doing appointments.
I think, given the actual law and statute, it is actually the voted on position. To do it right, we need a motion for a vice president.
I'll make the motion for Dave Anderson for vice president.
Motion's been seconded. Any other motions for anybody else to be vice president? So put a vote on,
Okay, we'll do roll call for Member Anderson to be vice president. Member Anderson?
yes.
Member Gibson?
Yes.
Member Greco?
Yes.
Member Swallow?
Yes.
Member Sweeto?
Yes.
Okay. And the yeas have it 5-0. Member Anderson is vice president. Congratulations.
You have to do your appointments.
Now,
That's for you guys to get back to me.
No, just, right now, it's just.
The town attorney, I'll appoint Lloyd Mullins. Water and sewer attorney, Mr. Peters. Town manager, Chief Pelfrey. The liaison for police is Jim Gibson. The fire is Brenda Swallows. Parks, Dave Anderson. Streets, Sharon Sweeto. Sewer is Roxanne Greco. Police chief is Earl Mayo. Fire chief, Joe Eakins. 911 coordinator, Joe Eakins. The police commission is Tara Pilfer, John Kavaka, and Tony Martin. And this fourth is Robert.
Jim, you got part four.
Park board is Joe Bachman, Trey Barkman, Tony Martin, and Morgan McGee. Plan commission is Joe Bachman, John Kabaka, Jordan Matthews, Dave Anderson, and Sharon Sweeto.
No, Jim, I will be off that because I'm no longer president. You would be on there, okay?
Then I appoint myself.
Yeah, no, you're just on.
You're on all committees.
Solid waste is Brenda Swallow. Emergency is Steve Belfry.
No, Sharon,
And Sharon Sweeto.
an elected official, I can't be on it.
Okay, we'll use it. Okay, sure. Building inspector is John Kavaka. Plumbing is William Schurer. Electrical is Lou Magega. MS4 is Robert George. Flood administrator-
Excuse me, MS4 is Robert, George, and myself, Jim.
and Sharon Sweeto.
Yeah.
ADA coordinator Joe Bachman. LTAP coordinator Alvin Marsh. Street superintendent, still in Michigan.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Where are you at, Jim?
Street superintendent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sharon Sweeto. Title VI coordinator Robert George. My swag is Robert George. And Indiana Flood and Stormwater Management, Robert George. Sanitation and Sewer, Robert George. And water operator is Story, OSHA rep is Robert George. Okay, we already did the police chief, Mayo, chief, Joe Eakins, 911 coordinator, Joe Eakins, we did the police commissioner,
I think you've done them all.
park board, I did, planning commission, advisors, I did, inspectors, I did that. School, I did all of that. That's when here says roll call.
Vice President Anderson,
Here,
President Gibson,
present.
Member Greco,
Here.
Member Swallow,
Here.
Member Sweeto.
Here.
Need a motion to approve minutes of December 10th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. December 29th year-end meeting, need a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made, need a second?
I'll second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Payment of bills, town water and sewer for December. Need a motion to pay the bills. I'll make a motion. Need a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Funds and appropriation report for December 25. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made, second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we'll have Mr. Matt Kaiser from Northern Match.
Good evening, everyone. As you're aware, the town did seek bids for the meter replacement throughout the town and the service area. We did receive 5 bids. We opened them on Monday and read them aloud as required by state law. We did go through the bids, and tonight we are looking for action from the board to proceed with DB Utility in the amount of $156,600.
What was the price difference?
So the lowest was the 156,600. The highest was over 900,000, which was from H&G Underground out of LaPorte. And the range was everywhere in the midst.
Did you say?
Are you satisfied that they are competent to do this work quickly and efficiently?
Yes, they put together a very good plan. This is pretty much their main job. They only handle meter replacements and meter head replacements throughout the country.
Matt, where are they located at?
They're out of, I believe, Texas.
Out of where?
Texas.
Gonna be a far drive to get up here every week.
I had to, I didn't know if I heard you right.
Yep. And they're planning on having 3 crews, and they leapfrog each other
Oh, okay.
out in the municipality. They expect to get probably 50 or 60 done in a day.
How long did they, expect to be done?
This would take them about 30 days total.
That's DB Utilities?
DB Utility.
You pull them up on the website, they've been a lot of them, so they look like they're very competent. We get other town councils that went on and said they were very impressed with them and worked with them very well, so.
Yep. They've got a great outreach. They'll be working with the town and to notify all the residents when they're planning on doing this work. They have a very robust staff that will be working on this. So we're excited to get this underway. I know the town's excited to get this underway. So with that, I believe Robert told me that they received the meters that were ordered. So those are all sitting in stock, and with approval tonight, we've got a notice of award that will need to be signed that sends them to the contractor to send the 4 original contracts back to the town. And then we've also got Form 96 that needs to be signed by the council as well.
You need a motion? I'll make a motion that we use DB Utilities.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried for DB Utilities.
You want to do signatures now, or
Yeah,
want me to
do
give this to
signatures
you?
now, and then kind of tell them what's going on with the community crossings too.
Sure. So this is Form 96. I'll just take this down to each one of you. So you'll sign right there.
And just pass it down.
And then
Did they say when they'd be starting? It'll be in the spring, correct?
correct. Yep. It could be any time, actually. They can do this over the winter. So we gave them the number of days that they're allowed to work. So they have to have it done within 120 days of when they start.
Okay.
Give them right, or you'll be back tomorrow.
I'm not coming back tomorrow. Yeah, we'll scan everything. Well, thank you.
You got one there, Sharon, or no?
No, that's mine.
Yeah, no, I've got everything. We'll get copies of everything and get them over to you for your files as well. So yeah, the next I was asked about, or told about the community crossings. So the town did get awarded community crossings money again this year. I believe this is probably 8 or 9 years in a row that the town has received that. And we've got a pretty robust amount of roads that we're looking at doing this year. The plans are done. We'll be going out to bid, I believe, on Friday. Those will be due. So we'll be coming back in about a month. You'll see me back here again looking for an award for that lowest, most responsive bidder.
And then we're working on financing for the building, the new building.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and did Alomino call you or no?
Nobody, no.
He will.
Okay.
So, all right. And Greg is still doing it.
Okay.
Okay, so they'll be calling you.
So if there's no other questions.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Mr. Daniel Dalton.
Good evening, council and members of the public. Daniel Dalton with Center Dalton Municipal Advisors. I'm here to just briefly discuss and introduce the proposed fire territory, which we've called the East Lake Fire Territory. So what is a fire territory? This is basically a consolidation of fire EMS services that is being proposed to include both the town of New Chicago and the city of Lake Station. Why is this important? Well, because of the increase in costs of all equipment, of payroll, and things such as that over the last several of years post-COVID, it's hard for any individual entity to be able to afford the cost of increasing public safety. And so that's kind of the gist of the introduction here. So, council, I had provided you with a document that I want to flip through briefly, which is just kind of an introduction, an explanation of the legal process, as you'll see on the first page, which for the fire territory formation process, this includes 3 public hearings, tonight being the first of which. The city will also hold 3 public hearings separately. And then at the end of the day, we'll all come together and have a joint adoption meeting. And that's our proposal right now, as long as this option remains viable until then. So the timeline of all of this would be by the end of March, both the town and the city would have to come to an agreement to approve this territory formation. So let me go ahead and explain, how the budget's laid out, what the specific impacts to the taxpayers are, and then what certain circuit breaker impacts would look like, things such as that. So, and then one point on the legal process, we also would need to create what's called a fire territory equipment replacement fund, which is a cumulative fund. Sue, does the town have a cumulative fund?
We do not.
Okay, so that's a separate fund. So you're probably familiar with the town's general fund, which is levy based. So you would set a levy every single year that's established and approved by the council. It's budgeted for and levied against. And so what a cumulative fund is, it's rate based. And so we establish it. It has the state caps the rate at 0.0333 per $100 of assessed valuation. That rate stays the same year over year. And what that does is helps fund equipment, basically. It helps you build up a reserve so that you can fund the purchase of an ambulance or a fire truck or an engine, something such as related to the fire territory. Radios, yes. All right, so let's keep moving forward. I will direct you to page 4. So what I'll read this to the public as well so you can follow along with me. Units joining, like I said, Town of New Chicago, City of Lake Station. The assessed valuation for the Town of New Chicago is currently $57,942,000. The assessed valuation for Lake Station is $424,177,000. So those would be the two. The total assessed valuation between the two is just over $500 million. Now that becomes important here in a couple of minutes. On page 5, you'll see a map of the new proposed fire territory, which is just Lake Station and New Chicago. I wanted you to see it so you could visualize it in your head. Moving forward to page 6.
Excuse me,
Yes,
this one that's not noted here is that unincorporated over by Meister?
there is a slight white space right in
Yeah.
there. I believe that's just unincorporated Hobart Township,
Okay,
outside of the city and outside of the town.
that's what I thought that was.
Why fire territory? Like I explained, increase in costs over year. It's hard to keep up with. A fire territory would allow both the town and the city to join, marry together, form a partnership, and levy a tax so that they could afford the operations that come with fire and EMS services. Not only would we be able to afford increased service, we would also be able to improve coverage, which is an important thing when it comes to public safety. We could improve response times, particularly by recruiting more trained individuals. We could also standardize our training and our operations. So one thing that has been a big ticket item are ISO ratings, which relate directly to insurance and all of that. And so with the fire territory, there is the potential that the ISO rating could increase or improve if both the town and the city merge together to form a territory. Moving forward, page 7, here's the bread and butter of all this, our budget breakdown. So the budget determines the levy. So when we set a budget, we break down the specific salaries and wages, the specific supplies, the services and charges that we know we will have to pay for, and then any additional capital expenditures that come along with it. And so when we set a budget, as you can see in that schedule there, halfway down the page, the first year of this territory formation, we're estimating roughly a budget of $2.6 million. And the levy that would accompany that would be roughly $2.1 million with a total projected tax rate of $40.4106 per $100 of assessed valuation. And so what that means in practical terms is, say you look at your tax bill for your house and you pull up the total tax rate, you'll see that the gross tax rate for your house is roughly $4.50.
That's with everything, county,
County,
library,
all of the
schools.
overlapping taxing units,
Right.
yes, that's correct. And so what this means is we are asking for a tax rate, which is just a slight increase to what you're currently paying. And I'll get into the circuit breaker impacts as it attributes to individual taxpayers here in a couple of minutes. Are there any questions? I feel like I'm moving too fast here.
What does that mean for the average homeowner?
I'll get there in a minute, yes,
Okay.
yes, good question.
Did you tell them what SEA one's gonna do to the city and the town?
Well, generically, yes, it will restrict future revenue growth. So the city and the town will both be impacted rather substantially, because historically the property tax growth quotient, which sat around 3 or 4% the last several years, is now kind of capped out. It's done based on new legislation. And so we're not seeing additional revenue growth like we used to see over the last several years. Another reason why it's imperative that we combine forces with the city so that we can afford public safety services. Public safety, to me, is one of the most important things that the town can offer. And
It's just not fire, it's ambulance also.
correct, fire and EMS. 2 additional notes to add to this budget. What we did include were we will be staffing 2 full-time ambulances. They will be running full-time
Once the territory's established.
once formed, yes. And then 4 additional full-time employees, as opposed to what the current structure is over at the city. We would be employing 4 additional individuals so that there would be adequate coverage over the town and the city. More than adequate. All right, moving forward. Here is a breakdown of the specific budget categories, personal services. You'll see our 2027 projected budget, 1.5 million for personal services. Supplies, 142,000 roughly. Services and charges, which include things like subscriptions, software services, billing companies, things like that, 428,000. And then capital outlays, which include any leases that would be issued to purchase equipment, or even something as small as a laptop that the fire department has to purchase, fire territory has to purchase. Total budget, 2.6 million. So here is where I will discuss briefly what the specific impacts may look like for an individual taxpayer. So a circuit breaker, what is that? You've probably all heard that term before. This is the property tax cap impact that any individual taxpayer would be, let me take a step back. Look at your tax bill again from my original example. Let's just say your tax bill, let's just say your house is $200,000 at an assessed valuation.
Not around here. Let's go to 100.
Okay, let's go $100,000 for your assessed valuation on your home. If your tax rate is 4.5 and based on state statute, circuit breaker related, your home is capped at $1 or 1%. And so you're only liable to pay 1% of that $100,000 if you're a homestead. Say you fall under the 2% bucket, which it would be other non-residential or farmland or apartment or a condo owner or something like that, you'd be capped at 2%. Commercial and industrial is capped at 3%. And so how do we calculate what the circuit breaker impact of forming a fire territory is going to have on the community? We try to take in all of the parcel level data and we say, okay, a lot of the town is residential. Some of it is commercial. Some of it is 2%, other non-residential farmland, etc. And we break it out and say on page 11, here's the specific circuit breaker impact with the territory formation and without. So at the top on page 11, you'll see without the proposed fire territory formation, that's our current, the total circuit breaker impact between the county, the township, the city, or the town, the school, and the special district, which is solid waste management, is $1.5 million. Do you all see that up on the top right? Okay. And then on the bottom, we say, okay, great. Let's say we form the fire territory. Here's the additional impact. 85,000 would be what would be added on to the circuit breaker. And you'll see each overlapping taxing type broken down individually. So the county itself would have a 12,500 increase to their circuit breaker, meaning the county's revenue, property tax revenue would be reduced by that amount.
Now, before, also with this SEA coming out, okay, my house is assessed at 100,000, okay, I'm gonna get the 48,000 this year, and then they're gonna cap it at a different rate.
Mhm.
And then it's gonna be after all the deductions, because they're saving us $300 on your property, you know. So once that goes through, it's gonna be even less money that you'll be paying on your taxes. So even with that, you're gonna be saving money.
And that's a great note. We factored in Senate Enrolled Act 1 implications, which include that $300 tax credit or up to 10% of your assessed valuation. We factored in for 2% capped properties a deduction that was also part of Senate Enrolled Act 1. And so all of this is factored in here. We believe that the circuit breaker impact numbers are as accurate as they possibly can be before the county auditor actually finalizes them.
Fire.
All right, and then moving on to the last couple of pages, you'll see on page 12, I've broken down the taxpayer impacts by all three buckets, 1%, 2%, 3%. So 1% again is homesteads. You own a home, here's what you can anticipate to pay in additional property taxes if this fire territory is formed. You'll see that the first line I have at the top there, gross assessed value, $100,000. All the way on the right side under net change in annual property tax, you would pay an additional $72 a year. And then all of those rows on the far right side where it says no change, many of the properties that fall above that specific assessed valuation will hit their tax cap. And so they're not going to end up paying more in property taxes. They're going to pay what they're currently paying because the total gross tax rate for added up between the county, the township, the city, the school, and everything else is rather high. It's at $4.50. So most properties will not end up paying additional property taxes by the formation of this fire territory. So the next 2 pages are a reiteration of that same page. And you'll see that there is no change. There's no additional taxes paid for the 2% properties, farm rentals. There's no additional taxes owed for the 3%, which are commercial and industrial properties. At this point, I would be happy to take any questions from council or explain something further if there is confusion.
So what you're saying is that for the average home, which is less than $100,000 in the Chicago community, that the most that they would pay extra in going to a much higher service, because now we're going to have 2 ambulances operating all the time, and then extra protection from the fire territory, it would cost them at most $71.76.
Yeah, the gist of, that's a great question. The gist of this is, yes, it's a tax rate increase to all taxpayers. However, because you as a homeowner are capped at 1% of your total property taxes, you won't end up paying more than you're currently paying. So there's a special dichotomy there, which says, yes, it's going to look like a higher tax rate on your tax bill every single year. That doesn't mean you're paying more into the system.
And for the citizens, are going to have a lot better protection, or a lot more protection.
Yes. Now, what that does mean, unfortunately, is that the circuit breakers will negatively impact the overlapping taxing units, such as the town and the schools and the township and the county.
But you have that broke down also, right?
Yes, and that's what I walked
More people here, so we want to make sure that they understand what's going on. Do I have on River Forest? Can we read that here? Okay, just checking. Do you want them to be able to ask him some questions now?
That's fine if they would like to. I have no problem with it.
Deb or Mr. Crickliver or whoever?
She looks at me.
Jim, you want them to talk?
We have to get used to this, Sharon.
I've been here too
That's
long.
what I said, I'm gonna have to get used to saying President Gibson.
Kevin Trezak, Superintendent of Schools, 3250 Michigan Street. Congratulations on your appointments tonight. Thank you very much for hosting this opportunity. We're listening into this. I want to get some details. What are you suggesting that the impact may be to River Forest? And then I can't speak for Lake Station, but I know that there will be an impact to schools with this, with the circuit breaker.
Sure, great question. I briefly ran through it. I can pull that up again.
Did you get a paper, Kev, or no? Did you give one of them? You got any?
What do you have? Can you tell me?
I have one to share. All right, so specific page, it shows the circuit breaker impact as it applies to each overlapping taxing
Yep.
unit. So this is
Mhm.
current today, right? So the schools,
That's us.
this is just, yes. With the impact, or with which is the formation of fire territory, this would be the total increase to the schools.
Okay, and within this here, that is our circuit breaker you're estimating there, or no?
That is just Lake Station schools.
That's just Lake Stations. I was going to say, yeah, because that number, our circuit breaker alone is 700,000. So that number,
Now, tax rate wise, you guys do overlap with New Chicago? You guys,
we have 5 taxing districts. So we have
Okay.
Lake Station specifically, and then New Chicago, and then a little bit of the Hobart Township area you mentioned, yeah.
Some of Hobart.
Yes,
45
mhm. Yep, and some Gary, correct, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
so just perspective wise, this would be the impact, say that was 700. Like you said,
Yep,
the impact would be roughly 780,
okay.
780,000.
Yep.
So an $80,000 increase.
So within this, I've got some concerns with this, and things I want us to consider. Of course, Senate Enrolled Act 1. We know what this is doing in New Chicago. New Chicago is a town that's dear to my heart, both professionally. I work here and I grew up here. I don't happen to live here at the moment.
Your mom and dad.
Mom and dad do. And these concerns we're considering tonight are extremely important to everyone around. Certainly what's been caused by that. As we're going through this is a need that has to be addressed. My concern is the leader of the schools, is that we're looking at the right numbers on this and seeing the impact. We of course, we saw the proposal coming through, so we met with our financial groups, Policy Analytics, Baker Tilly, and they were giving us a much different estimate of, rather than $37,000 or somewhere in that neighborhood. Not the kind of number I could speak to tonight, because this information, if you're willing to share it, I'd like to at least take it back so we can consider. Because the Senate Enrolled Act 1 has caused us issues in our operations fund, as well as every place across the state of Indiana. Yep, with what's happened. So I'm hoping that, one, I could bring a deeper dive of some information in at some point, or at least share it with the council. It would be based on those entities. You mentioned parcel by parcel. That's how they'll look at these for us as well too, to see what that impact will be. I certainly don't want to put the schools' needs in front of the towns. However, I have to represent the schools, and that's my job and what I have to do. I can't even stand up here on behalf of mom and dad who live in town. It's what I have to do with this here. I just want to make sure our numbers are correct on that. Our circuit breaker alone is 700 last year, 900,000 next year. Lake Stations, I know just from living in proximity with Tom and living together, it wipes out all your fund, I think, right? And it's well over $1 million on it. So those numbers, I just need to make sure that they are representative of exactly what the cost will be. $37,000 is a lot less than what I was led on by our individuals who, who told us those things. So.
Can I may add, that's the purpose of this
Yes,
meeting.
absolutely.
So that we can have
Sure,
public
sure.
discussion before we even ever go to
Certainly, yep. So anything we can share, Sue or whoever I can share, and certainly with any of you. Can I get a copy of the? Thank you very much. Okay, appreciate it.
And then could you make a copy for Tom too? So
I will. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
All right, we'll be in touch.
Yep,
Okay.
sounds good.
I mean.
Yep.
We're between a rock and a hard place. We don't
Horrible
have
spot.
ambulance service.
Yep.
Our fire department volunteers, you can't get them, okay? My guys are
Yep.
aging up there, you know, you've been around a long time, so it's, and we looked at a district, but that is controlled by the county
County.
commissioners.
Okay. Yep.
So the county commissioners don't want to do a fire district with us because they got one in Calumet Township. So the only thing we could do in order for us to have ambulance service was to agree to go in with Lake Station and do a
Right, yeah.
fire territory. So, I know, Kev.
Absolutely, it is. And with a lot of truth being that lots of homes are at the tax cap. When we're talking about these monies, we're talking about, certainly I'm concerned with River Forest. We're talking about schools, libraries. There's an impact to the town and city as well too, Lake Station in there too. So
Right.
I won't spend a horrible amount of time, but I do want to give this a deeper dive. So
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
that's fine. So if you need Dalton, or Daniel, you got a card for him,
Yep.
that if he wants to have his people, Baker Tilly and.
Thank you very much. I'll share mine out in a second. I'll get you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Cricklewood, you want to say something?
Anybody else have any questions?
Good evening.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you
Tom.
for
You want to come up here?
allowing me to be here this evening. I'm Tom Cricklewood, and I'm the superintendent of schools at Lake Station Community Schools. And I want to just reiterate very quickly what Kevin Trezak, superintendent here at River Forest, has said. This is going to have an impact not only on the schools, but as Daniel has explained, every governing unit, taxable unit, is going to be impacted by this. What that impact means is there'll be less money in property taxes provided to those governing units. In my case, Lake Station Community Schools. As I understand it, and do correct me if I'm wrong, Sue, and anybody from the board, that Lake Station in this fire territory is going to be the primary, and New Chicago is going to be the secondary. And of course, with more assessed valuation coming from Lake Station schools, Lake Station governing units, the city is going to be impacted at a greater extent than the town of New Chicago. That's just because of the assessed valuation of New Chicago and that of Lake Station. We also understand the need for safety. That has got to be number one, not only in our communities, but also in our schools. This is one option that the town council here is considering, and that the city of Lake Station City Council will be considering. I don't know if other options, Daniel, has been explored or other options have been discussed, but this is the one that's being presented. So I came this evening to get information, see how this will impact Lake Station Community Schools specifically, as well as all the other governing units. So more information is appreciated. I will definitely be studying this. Mr. Trezak, you and I will definitely be having conversations, but we want to be supportive of the town and of the city and also of the other governing units, but specifically Lake Station Community Schools and specifically River Forest Community Schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel, you got a card for him too?
Oh, I know.
I know.
Daniel well.
Oh, well, then you know. Okay. Thank you.
Unless if there are any more questions from the
I do
council.
have one thing I'd like to ask real quick with the, in respect to the handout that you give the council. Will the council be opposed to having that put on our town website for people to be able to see?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, did you want mine for,
No, if you can email it to me, I'll give you my email address.
oh, okay,
That
it'll
way
be
I can,
easier.
yeah, that way I'm not trying to scan it in.
Okay, Joe, that's good.
FYI, tomorrow is Lake Station's meeting, so if any of you council can attend, that would be a good idea.
Major meeting is tomorrow.
Huh?
Our meeting with Lake Station.
No, tomorrow's Lake Station's meeting on their own, like ours is now.
Oh, okay.
What time tomorrow, Daniel?
6:30
6:30? Thanks, Tom.
upstairs at City Council.
6:30 at City Hall upstairs.
City Hall.
Yeah, part of it.
Start working on the retrack report, so you're covered. She sent me information.
Correspondence.
Right now, wait,
We have to hold a public hearing,
so.
on the fire territory.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can we need a motion made to join the park area with Lake Station?
We need to
Just a
make a
public
motion.
It's just a public hearing, so.
Yeah, so we don't have to
Does
give a
anybody
motion.
want to talk if they can? Okay, so if anybody else wants to talk, come on up here and talk, okay? So this is our public hearing. Sorry, I had your
So
superintendent.
it's 15 minutes.
15 minutes from now.
So is it 15
Yeah,
minutes,
it's
Daniel?
15 minutes.
There's no time, well, it's up to you how long you want.
Well, usually I don't care, if the council don't care.
Well, if nobody wants to speak, then I ask them and then.
Anybody else wants to speak?
I have questions, but I'm not sure.
Sure.
Can I ask them?
Yeah, come on up.
I just have,
Oh, it's Allison.
I'm Allison Nicolai. I'm a community member, and I just had a few questions in regards to your information. I don't have a handout, so it is kind of hard to hear all the way in the back. But can somebody tell me the current New Chicago fire tax rate?
Oh, not all, yeah.
What the current rate is?
General fund, do we have?
Oh, just for the fire?
Yeah, we don't have a
I need to
fire.
grab that.
Everything's out of general fund.
So it's a portion of the general fund, which the general fund's tax rate is. What is that? 0.8031. It's a small portion of that 0.8031 is related to fire expenditures.
Okay, and then what was the proposed FPC tax rate?
Total tax rate for the territory would be. Too many pages. .4106.
And then are there like phase-ins or caps on the increases?
There's not a phase-in. There is a statutory cap as of now, as of Senate Enrolled Act 1, which limits the tax rate to 40 cents on the territory's general fund. But I told you that the total tax rate is 41 cents, 4106.
Mhm.
That includes the cumulative fund equipment replacement.
Okay, the 4106. All right. And then is there any way, I think I heard somebody ask for a copy of the handout, that it will be posted on the website?
Yes, you can put it on the website.
Yeah, I'll be posting it on the website.
Okay,
It's
and then-
definitely electronic copy.
To include on there, on the website, can we have a side-by-side comparison for a typical New Chicago home? You know, that's maybe assessed at the 100,000 or 150,000.
That will be, apologies, we're still talking, that will be included in the final
It's in that.
report that ultimately will go to council for approval in March.
Can we have one before that, so that we have like
Certainly,
an informed decision-making?
Final report, I'm sorry. What are you talking about final report?
The Department of Local Government Finance requires a final financial report to be submitted to them upon approval by both councils.
Okay, so could things change on there when it comes to number wise?
Between today and then, likely not. Well, nothing would be snuck in there if that's what you're asking. So yes, ultimately, this financial report will be publicly available.
Are we allowed to see it before, like, we're committed to this?
Sorry.
Are we allowed to see the side-by-side comparison before this, we're committed to this?
Certainly, yes, we can
This
also
is-
get that, we can also get this posted on the website,
Okay,
I would imagine.
can we,
Make me some copies and you come pick it up when you get out of school.
I would be happy to do that.
And I do want to mention one more thing to you. There is what's called a levy reduction to the town's general fund by the formation of this fire territory. And so because we're increasing the tax rate to pay for some fire expenditures, to fund the territory, we are reducing our general fund, not equally, but just slightly in order to account for the reduction of cost that the general fund will be paying for, or will not be paying for anymore.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Not
Both the city and the
level
town will
with
have
that.
a levy reduction to their general funds.
Okay. All right, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
I got a question. What's how's this fire territory gonna work? Are you hiring new firemen, or is it all gonna be paid? Who's gonna be the chief?
Yeah, that's a procedural question, which will be established through an interlocal agreement, which will describe who the chief is and how they go about procedures of hiring new individuals. The good news about this, as I mentioned during my presentation, is this territory establishment could increase or improve the training and recruiting tactics that both the city and the town can utilize in order to hire more qualified individuals.
So, Bill, so what we will do eventually, if we agree on this merger, we will form a fire territory board between New Chicago and Lake Station, okay? Then that board will be in charge of the EMS and the fire. So until this is established, New Chicago still has their fire department, Lake Station still has theirs. Once this goes into effect, if it goes into effect, there'll be a joint territory board who's in charge of it. So until we get that far, if we get that far, we don't know anything.
Who are those people, Sue? Who are those board people?
We don't know. I have,
I mean,
who's our
will they
council
be
right there?
appointed, elected?
It will be
It'd be appointed,
Appointed?
yeah, so the council, New Chicago will maybe have two,
From both?
and Lake Station will have 3 or 4, depending on what we're fighting over right now, so.
And that decision will be made at the final meeting where both, the current plan is to have both the town and the city councils come together for a joint adoption meeting where they decide what the board composition is going to look like, whether it be 2 from New Chicago, 3 from New Station, or whatever that looks like. And then, as you have mentioned, Lake Station anticipates to be the provider unit for run the books basically, and New Chicago would be a participating unit.
One of the
And
good
you only
things,
work with, you're only working for New Chicago right now, are you doing Lake Station's numbers as well, or somebody of another group?
Well, I work on behalf of the city.
Okay, so you're doing from both the town and New Chicago.
He
and
works for Lake Station, we have his dad's partner, Sender, that's our financial guy.
Okay.
My boss works for her.
So how many full-time staff firefighters are you gonna have? How many?
How many full-time?
I don't have a clue, I don't know nothing. Joe, do you
I
know
see Chief and
anything?
Admin.
Is Chuck here?
Well,
right now, possibly,
How many?
Chuck's here too.
right now, possibly
18.
And that all depends on those numbers, like you.
So the budget, we spent multiple months working through the budget itself, and so we established 18 as our total full-time employees at the end of the day.
and so you know, both fire departments, Lake Station and us are volunteer fire departments. So that's not gonna change either, so.
Right.
How about the ISO rating?
New Chicago's is good because of the water department, I don't know about Lake Station,
What's
okay?
the
You'll have
number
to-
on it?
You'll have to do, what is ours, Joe? Robert, the ISO rating, what is ours for New Chicago?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, we have it written down because they came out and checked this, so.
Yeah.
That's where our insurance goes down because our rating's good still. So, I don't know about Lake Station, I just know the New Chicago territory, okay? We have numbers.
Yeah, I just want to certify it. Tough to go down.
It's on your insurance bill, do you know that?
No.
Okay. So if you look on your insurance bill, it tells you your ISO.
But is this gonna affect it? Is it gonna be better or
I
worse?
hope so. I don't know if New Chicago can get any better, we're good now.
I mean, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I don't know, Bill, we'll have to look into that.
So any other questions? Our 15 minutes are really up now. So,
What is the average?
Now what?
Any question?
It was close public.
Okay.
okay. Ordinance, we're
You can tell
closing the public meeting at this point. Close the public meeting.
Okay. We have ordinance 2026-01, an ordinance reaffirming rates and charges for the use and services rendered by the waterworks system of the town of New Chicago. Hydrant schedule, municipal each hydrant, annual rate $300, private each hydrant $300. Dated this 14th day of January 2026.
I'll make the motion to approve.
We need a
I'll second. I'll second.
A second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, ordinance 2026-02, an ordinance reaffirming fees collected by the town of New Chicago Waterworks. Service calls, $30. Shut-off non-payment, $30. NSF check, $35. Meter pull, $60. This ordinance will be in full effect after passage and signing by the town council dated this 14th day of January, 2026.
We need a motion,
I make that motion.
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ordinance 2026-02 passed.
Ordinance 2026-03, an ordinance reaffirming fees collected by the town of New Chicago Police Department. Vehicle identification number check, $5. Salvage VIN checks, $100. Towing per vehicle, $100. Accident incident report, $15. This ordinance will be in full effect after passage and signing by the town council dated this 14th day of January, 2026. I have to change that.
Need a motion to accept? Need a motion. Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. All three opposed, motion carried.
Okay, ordinance 2026-04, an ordinance amending employee handbook, Article 5, employee conduct, Section G, personal calls. Personal phone calls, mobile device use. As a representative of the town, mobile device users are reminded that the regular business etiquette employed when speaking from office phones or in meetings applies to conversations conducted over a mobile device. During work hours, occasional brief personal mobile device usage is permitted within a reasonable limit. Employees are urged to keep their conversation, emailing, texting, or data access activities brief and kept only to urgent matters. Employees are required to conduct lengthy personal conversations and/or emailing, texting, or data access activities on their lunch breaks or non-working hours. If mobile device usage, including talking, emailing, texting, or data access activities, is abused, the first infraction may result in a verbal warning. A second infraction may result in a written warning, and a third or subsequent violation and continued abuse may result in continued disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment. Duly adopted by the Town Council of the Town of New Chicago, Lake County, Indiana, this 14th day of January, 2026, if approved.
Need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made, second,
I'll second.
second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 1, please. Carol.
Applies to everybody, right?
Yes,
Everybody.
everybody. Yes, they're all gonna read it and sign it. And then there's gonna be a copy that goes this
Earl.
She asked who that was from. I said Earl.
No, I didn't know if it was, what this was Earl's or mine. But it.
Oh, you meant Lloyd?
Yeah, I mean Lloyd,
Thanks.
yeah.
Good evening. The month of December concluded a demanding yet productive year for the New Chicago Police Department. Despite continued challenges related to staffing shortages, limited resources, and fiscal constraints, the department remained committed to proactive enforcement, emergency response, and meaningful community engagement. This report outlines enforcement activities, calls for service, fleet status, staffing considerations, recruitment efforts, and community initiatives for December, while also providing key year-end performance context. So for December 2025, we issued a total of 157 citations, 15 was misdemeanors, 53 were infractions, 55 were local ordinances, 32 were written warnings, with an unknown number of verbal warnings. For the year end, we did a total of 1,898 citations. For December, we towed 41 vehicles. For the year, we towed 553 vehicles. These enforcement efforts reflect continued attention to traffic safety, ordinance compliance, and the quality of life issues throughout the town of New Chicago. In the calendar year 2025, officers responded to 9,135 calls for services, representing approximately 865 fewer calls in 2024. Call for services included, but were not limited to, civil disputes and citizens assist, traffic stop and traffic accidents, agency assist with neighboring law enforcement agencies and New Chicago Fire Department, domestic battery investigations, armed robberies, carjacking, sexual assaults, 2 homicide investigations, and additional violent and non-violent criminal offenses. Notably, every level 5 felony or higher offense that occurred in the town of New Chicago during 2025 resulted in the accused being identified, located, arrested, and formally charged with the Lake County Prosecutor's Office. This reflects the department's commitment to thorough investigation and accountability despite a limited staffing. Fleet and equipment status, Car 2 remains out of service and needed repairs following the traffic crash in November 2025. Car 1 is out of warranty and experiencing engine failure symptoms, including the motor oil is now mixing with the coolant. It's a known issue with the Dodge Durangos. Due to the high cost of the dealership, it was temporarily repaired by Best Exhaust Mufflers here in New Chicago. The conditions are clear, indicating of an impending engine failure and must be addressed properly. Given the current condition, I'm formally requesting the authorization to begin obtaining quotes for replacement of that patrol vehicle for some usable life remains. At present, 2, if not 3 of the vehicles have been paid off. The department is nearly paying off the remaining 2, placing us in a more favorable position for this plan of replacement. To address ongoing staffing shortages, officer fatigue, and budgetary concerns, I'm requesting that the town considers authorizing the use of compensation time or comp time for police officers. The department has been 1 paid officer short for the past 2 years, and now is preparing within the next week or so to lose another officer to the Lake Station Police Department. As a result, remaining officers will be required to cover additional shifts to maintain minimum staffing and service levels. Authorizing comp time and lower overtime will reduce overtime expenditures, allow officers flexibility to take time off when needed, provide relief to officers who are currently receive no vacation time, no sick time, no personal time, and no medical benefits. It is neither fair nor sustainable for officers to routinely work 84 hours per pay period while still being classified as part-time employees with no benefits. I have consulted with the town attorney who advised that comp time must be issued at a time-and-a-half rate. So if they work 8 hours of comp time, they'll get 18 hours in return.
12 hours.
If they work 12 hours, they get 18 hours. So you still have to pay the time-and-a-half rate. I talked to the clerk treasurer who confirms her ability to monitor and track comp time and reflect it on the officers' pay stubs. A proposed safeguard includes a cap of 168 comp hours per officers, which is equivalent to 2 pay periods. Officers must use comp time before accumulating additional hours beyond the cap. All comp time must be submitted in writing and approved by the chief of police prior to being earned and used. This policy will provide fiscal responsibility while supporting officers' wellness and retention.
You wanted to make a motion?
Yeah, I needed to say something.
Table it right now.
Okay.
No,
Table it.
yeah.
We're gonna have to look at it, Earl.
Yeah. I need to, myself personally, I need to check into this a little more, Earl. So, I mean, it's up to the council what they want to do, but
Yeah, we need to look at it a little more.
we can do that.
That's good.
Yeah.
We'll table that this time.
You keep paying overtime. During December 2025, officers made 21 in-custody arrests, including felony and misdemeanor warrant arrests, drug arrests, DUI arrests, intimidation, trespass, and resisting law enforcement arrests. One use of force incident occurred where a suspect attempted to physically resist an officer. A taser was deployed to gain voluntary compliance and the safety take the suspect to custody. Early 2026 activity snapshot. To date in 2026, officers are already responding to nearly 600 calls for services, including 15 non-custody arrests, 19 traffic offenses, 17 drug offenses, and felony invasion of privacy. On one day alone, today, I personally responded to 7 traffic crashes by myself. To put things in perspective, the city of Lake Station has responded to approximately 393 calls for service thus far this year, and we're at almost 600. The Lake Station ended 2025 with approximately 10,000 calls for services. We ended it with 9,135. Lake Station is 8.43 square miles with approximately 13,240 residents. New Chicago covers 1.2 square miles with approximately 1,999 residents. So we're doing just as much work as Lake Station with fewer officers, fewer resources, fewer manpower, underpaid, no off days or anything. Lake Station has 25 plus full-time officers, higher pay, full benefits, and superior equipment and resources. New Chicago operates with 3 paid officers, only 1 considered full-time, the lowest pay in the county, no benefits, and equipment shortages. Despite these conditions, our officers continue to perform at a high level and deserve recognitions for their dedication and professionalism. The department recently hired a retired Lake County police officer to serve as a reserve officer. This addition supplements 2 reserve officers hired approximately 2 months prior. A new recruitment posting has been posted on Indeed for both paid and reserve positions. New recruitment strategies are actively being developed for 2026, focused on applicant retention, quality, and long-term stability. Community engagement throughout 2025, the department conducted several impactful community initiatives, including the Back to School giveaway, providing school supplies, book bags, game prizes, free gym shoes, and haircuts. Independence Day celebration featuring games, prizes, and a semi-pro professional wrestling event. Distribution of 75 full Thanksgiving food baskets during a period where the SNAP benefits were delayed due to government shutdown, and the department's annual Christmas party. The Christmas community event served approximately 350 residents, with children receiving a minimum of 6 toys each, along with raffle prizes. This event was made possible through generous donations and community support. A recipient has been identified and for the donation of the vehicle that we were going to raffle, but then that kind of got full. So instead of raffling, we just gave the car away to someone in town that needed the car. The vehicle will be released once she come in and show us that she has proof of insurance on the vehicle. The execution of the release prepared by Attorney Mullins, releasing the town of New Chicago and the New Chicago Police Department from all liability. I am extremely proud of the men of the New Chicago Police Department for their dedication and resilience throughout 2025. Despite being underpaid, understaffed, overworked, our officers consistently reported for duty and performed at the same professional standards expected for any law enforcement officer in the state of Indiana, often with fewer resources and limited community support. Their commitment to public safety, professionalism, and service to the town of New Chicago has not gone unnoticed. It is an honor to serve alongside them. I am proud to be a part of this community. I look forward to both the challenges and the opportunity that 2026 will bring.
Thank you.
How many accidents do you have this morning? 7. Stoplights out still.
Fire, Joe. No report, guys. No report. Town manager. Hold on 1 second.
Fire, Joe. Wait a minute, Joe.
Joe's up.
Mr. President.
No, I want to say nothing.
Come up here, Joe.
Joe misunderstood something back here. You can sit down, Joe.
No, we're good. No report.
No report.
Give us a report.
Town manager.
I want to do no report also. Robert's back, so he's gonna give you the water. Matt was here, Daniel's here. H&G has given us a quote. We have to do that. You got that? Okay, Robert's gonna handle it. I'm done.
Park board, Joe.
Parks Board is real quick. Morgan McCabe is the Parks Board president this year, acting as vice president because of the contracts that I'm gonna be on this year. I'm just not gonna have time to be president, so.
Who's going to be?
Morgan. Morgan is president, I'm vice president, and Trey is secretary. So outside of that, that's all we did for our meeting for this month. Next month I'll have more for you.
Okay.
Planning commission.
All right, planning commission. We did have one on the agenda tonight. Raid Abdullah. This is for the old beauty parlor that was over here next to Hardin's.
First impression.
He is looking to do a headquarters for his office for a towing company. We did not approve him tonight technically. We asked that he come back next month and kind of give us a better layout of what he's planning to do. As far as like any cars are gonna be there, things of that nature. So he's gonna come back to the planning commission next month. At that point, we'll make our vote. And Tammy, I'm gonna have you add him to the council meeting next month.
Okay.
So that he can,
And I have a question, Joe, on that. If he is going to have any vehicles there, please check the size of the lot before you let him
Yeah.
allow any vehicles there. Because I know that's not a very big.
he's estimating he can get about 7 to 8 vehicles.
Well, I don't know.
But we're gonna do our due diligence and
Yeah, okay.
check that, so. Just looking at it, I tried looking at it from the ArcGIS,
Yeah,
plot.
you
And
can.
it's,
You have to actually go on
yeah,
site.
yeah, so, yeah, that'll be taken care of next month.
And then he's gonna have a towing company, but what kind of license does he have to have for that? If he's gonna have vehicles there anyway? Do you know offhand?
I don't know offhand, that's the other thing, is I wanted to do a deep dive into the state statute.
Okay, Joe, all right, yeah.
Cause I know he wants to sell vehicles also,
Oh, boy.
but
Because that property's not that big.
right, and
There's no way.
he even agreed, he even said the same thing, it's not gonna be like, Mark with the old American Auto Parts store.
Yeah.
He knows he doesn't have that kind of room.
Yeah.
It may just be like 1 or 2 here and there type deal.
Well, and if they do approve that, then you guys will have to keep a watch on it.
Right, and we covered that pretty well, so, so that also gives me a chance to go back through the state statutes for used car lots, because I know there's a whole bunch of state statutes for that also.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
and that's all I had for the planning commission.
Sewer. Mickey Anderson, received parts for our lift stations, and as soon as the weather gets able to do the work, we'll, address our lift stations, and so we can manually, if power goes out, because we've having a lot of power outages lately. So there is raw sewage flowing down the streets of New Chicago. We're going to address that, so that way we have a contingency plan for any mishaps that may happen. That's all for sewer.
Streets?
Streets. Let me go to this page now. The streets, we had several fallen trees blocking intersections that we had to remove due to windy weather lately, and they've been addressed, pushed off to the side, and city don't own trees, okay? So we just have to move them
Neither
off at
does the
intersections. Town, city, town don't own trees. We have to move them off the intersections so traffic can flow freely. So they need to be addressed by whomever tree that is. Okay, but that'll probably fall on us too, but that's all
No,
that.
it will not.
Sanitation?
Sanitation, that's nothing.
Water?
Water, as Sue said, H&G submitted a bid to us to replace some infrastructure. We agreed that the work can start as soon as they can get a hold of it to get it done. It's a new line being ran to pick up and replace an old existing line that's outdated and we have no parts for. So if something ever happened to that line, we couldn't repair it.
This
So-
is up in Knott Hill, so it has
Correct.
to be replaced, so.
Yeah, that's what I got. It's a 2-inch line in the Knob Hill area. So that's in the works.
H&G gave us a bid, they knocked about $2,800 off of it.
About $3,000.
And he'll let me make 4 monthly payments on it, so, anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and do it, so.
There you go. All right, water meter materials were ordered and delivery dates were given for utility supply. I have a copy of that. If any of the council would like one, I will gladly make it for you and give it to you guys. Today I was in Angola, Indiana, getting certification for the floodplain. So I wasn't here, but we did take delivery of, I believe, meter heads. And they're in the Public Works building right now as we speak. So that date for that delivery was the 16th, but we received them today, which is the 14th. So it was 2 days ahead of schedule. What else is there? The water department performed 3 main breaks repairs. We had a total of 4. H&G assisted us, did the work. We assisted them on the 4th one, which was on Indiana here.
Brand new blacktop.
Brand new in the box. And
thanks, Sharon, for taking your sandwiches too. So.
Yes.
I had a political party, so Sharon went out and took them food, so.
That's all with that, as far as water.
Stormwater?
MS4. All right, I spoke with Reggie. She was supposed to be here tonight, but due to inclement weather, she couldn't make it. So our agenda for that is to update the stormwater ordinances for construction. So any new construction going in New Chicago will have to comply with our construction ordinance. We're going to complete the annual report, complete employee training, inspect the buildings owned and operated by the town of New Chicago. All of this will be completed by the end of January, early February 2026. And it's all for the MS4.
Any old business? Any new business? Legal report?
Just briefly, I wrote a couple of ordinances for the chief to hopefully get some more money from police department, including one making expired plates an ordinance, not just a state law, but and driving with a suspended license as an infraction. We'll change that to a town ordinance too. Hopefully it'll allow the police department to bring in some more money, so we have more money for the officers. Anyway. That's it. I know. I've done a bunch of work on the as well, so.
Any announcements? Any old business? Open forum? Comment from the board? Need a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made, second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is over.
Okay, 6:30 tomorrow?